Hey y'all, hey, I'm Marcy. I'm the curly-haired half of the Handmade Harriells, and today we're going to get into simple tweaks you can make to patterns in order to make them your own. Maybe you've got a pattern that you love and you keep making it over and over. Maybe you've just got a simple pattern that you want to get into that you want to elevate in some way. I'm all about elevating things for y'all. Let's elevate, all right? Let's go. The first tip and the simplest tip for elevating and adjusting your patterns is to add some length. If you want to really raise the drama, lower that length. It's a very simple fix. For example, we've got Simplicity 8456, which is actually a crinoline. I thought it was so cute that it should see the light of day in just everyday wear, and so I made it in this, I want to say crazy, but I know we're not supposed to say that anymore. I made it in this ebullient print that you see here. Now, it was supposed to hit at the knee. All I did was add another gathered tier to that. But that's not where it stops. No, 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 my friends. What if you added length to a top? Say the Ogden cami from True Bias. Super simple hack. It's just a rectangle gathered to fit the previous rectangle, and so on and so forth. Here's the Picasso top from the sewing workshop. I love this pattern, and I lengthened that jammy again to like just below the knee. I call it an apartment dress. Like you're in your apartment and you want to be, you know, feeling kind of dressy, but not too dressy, still a little bit loungy, you know, while you're entertaining and serving dinner to your friends. This fits that bill. Adding length to a jacket also makes an everyday item extra. And we all know that I do love to make things extra. One of my favorite jacket patterns is the By Hand London Victoria blazer. It's an elegant blazer that's fairly simple to make, and you can get a lot of different looks out of it if you leave off the lapels, if you just go for the cowl neck. But how I got this look was simply by adding length. You just extend the pattern lines down and add as much length as you dare, or as much length as your fabric will allow you. You know, if you're like me and you always think like, I've got like 8 yards of this fabric, I'm gonna be able to like just make a train dragging down the street, and then you get into cutting and you realize you only had like 1.5 yards. You know, you just let your fabric dictate how much length you're gonna be able to add to that pattern. Now, don't just think of it as adding length. You can also add height to a pattern. Height. Height makes me sound smarter, so I'm gonna go with height. This is a Burda-style pattern, Burda-style 119. It's from a jogging tracksuit, and these are just the pants portion of the pattern. Now, when you are blessed with a booty, as I am, you find that the crotch curve doesn't always give enough enough surface area for the butt to live in. Therefore, your waistband can kind of dip down a little bit. Well, I thought I'm gonna circumvent that and add way more length to the top of the pants pattern than I think I need. When I went and tried these pants on, I realized that I had unwittingly made a jumpsuit. And now I love this thing. Don't just think of adding length to the bottom of the pattern. Think of adding it to the top. Think of adding it to the sleeves. Think of adding it to, well, I think that's just about the only 3 places that you can add it to. Next tip, if you want to make a pattern yours, pick one feature and change it. Don't go like hog wild on your first try and try to change like 8 different features about the pattern. See what you can visualize in the pattern and pick one feature to change. An easy feature to change is a hem on this Vogue jacket, Vogue 1493, one of my very favorite jacket patterns. I changed just the hemline on this jacket. It's supposed to be a straight across hemline, and what I did was just draw a gentle curve into the hem at the side seam. You could go all the way and add scallops to the neckline of a dress, as I did with this wrap dress. I used the scallops in the print that were already existing, and I cut around that print and then sewed those scallops into the dress. That might be something I can teach y'all later on, how to put some scallops in something, because you know what? They are really not as hard as they look. And they add such a cool feature to a neckline or a hemline or a sleeve opening. Very cool feature to use. On this Simplicity pattern, Simplicity 1099, it's just a regular old little shirt. I added a high-low hem to it and pleats all the way around the hemline. Pleats are something that you can add at the very end of a project if it's just not giving you enough oomph. Sleeves. Sleeves are a wonderful area to play with. You know, I got this big old boxy sweater on. I'm constantly pushing these sleeves up. Well, for my ReFashion series on Craftsy, I had this dress to work with. And one of the quickest things you can do to change a look like this, well, is obviously to lop off some length, but putting a sleeve tab in changes the look of just about anything. The tab is here on the outside and loops in to the inside of the sleeve, making it nice and zhuzhed for you with a little bit of a embellishment right there. I don't know that I explained that well, but I've got pictures of it. Yeah? And you can decide, oh, it's a little chilly outside. I actually want my full sleeves. Unbutton that sleeve tab and just let those sleeves hang right on down to your wrists. Now, sometimes you're adding a tweak to a pattern because you need an exit strategy because something is not fitting how it should be fitting. That is what happened with this dress, McCall's 7745, which I made in this rayon floral print from the Madame Joanne's. She's very pretty. I feel very romantical in her. However, I did not when I first put her on because the sleeves, the little delicate sleeve caps, were biting into every area of my prolific muscular frame, and so I needed to hulk out a little bit and find an exit strategy. For this dress, I just opened up the sleeve, just cut that whole jammy open, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna figure it out. And I did. You just turn those sleeve openings under, add a couple of little ties, and suddenly you've got more room for your guns and also a cool design feature that looks like you meant to do it. So even if you don't set out to make the pattern your own, there are ways to make the pattern your own if the pattern isn't loving you back when you put it on. You know what fabric loves you back? Jersey knit. I know a lot of y'all are afraid of jersey knit, but it's actually one of the first fabrics I learned to sew on, and it's not that terrifying. And the last dress you saw, the rayon floral print, McCall's 7745, well, this is also that dress, done up in a jersey print. Using a different fabric is my next tip. Using a different fabric than what is recommended on the pattern envelope or in the pattern instructions or what have you is a great way to get a totally different look. As you can see, this dress in jersey, the sleeves fit me completely fine because there's more give in jersey. There's stretch. What you want to do if you're going to use jersey for a pattern that doesn't call for it is size it down. Where I might have been a size 12 in this pattern on the envelope, I went down to a size 8 because in jersey you need negative ease because the jersey stretches, right? So if you're making something in a woven, it's not stretching as much. So you need all of that circumference, you need all of that space. If you're making something in a jersey, the fabric's going to stretch to accommodate you. So you need to size down. I usually go about 2 sizes down and I'm good to go. In Vogue 8874, I took this vintage party dress look and I made it with some quilted fabric. No, I did not make it with a quilt, but I wished that I had. I made it with some quilted fabric, and actually I do love this fabric. It's kind of, again, crazy. I'm just gonna say ebullient whenever I mean crazy because that's the way that I mean crazy. Ebullient. This quilted dress is ebullient and it has a lot more girth and loftiness than it would have if I'd used the recommended jacquard or the brocade. That quilted fabric has some oomph to it. So if you want to change up a pattern quickly, just go for a different fabric. Don't be upset now if that fabric doesn't work out, because right, this is science time. This is playing time. This is let's see what we can do with this time, okay? Now I have actually used quilts. Used quilts for garments before, and it really changes up the look. This is a whole gown that I made for ReFashion, and it's all in Kanta quilt, and I love it. It feels wonderful on. That's not a pattern that I can actually put down in the description box for you though, because I designed that pattern, but spoiler alert, you might be getting some of my patterns soon. Now let's say you want to jump into trying a different kind of material that's recommended, or maybe a tricky material that you haven't worked with before. You don't have to go whole hog and do the whole shebang in a material that you've never tried before, or a tricky material. You can choose a piece of the pattern to employ that new material. This pattern runway sundress, which I made a bunch when I first started out sewing, I just used the insets on the side of the dress to use some lace. That's not supposed to be lace. It wasn't recommended to be lace, but I saw that that was a small pattern piece that I could play with some lace. I wasn't challenging myself by making an entire lace dress. I was just using a little section of the pattern to try out that lace in. You could do the same with, say, sequins. Sequins can be tricky to sew with, but if you're only using your sequins, say, on your back yoke, or maybe just on a sleeve cuff, you've dipped a toe into the sparkly waters of sequins without having to, just hate your life and remove every sequin from every inch of seam allowance on an entire evening gown. Huh? Yeah? From a next tip, let's talk about opening it up. I talk about this a lot on the channel. If you've got a pattern that has a center front seam, and say it's a dress that's supposed to have a zipper in the back, or a zip on the side seam, or buttons, if you got that center front seam, you can change that up lickety split. I'm going to recommend my favorite Vogue pattern. This Vogue pattern, as drafted, has a center front seam on the bodice and on the skirt. And after my, fifth or sixth time making this dress, I realized I could use that center front seam that runs down the entire length of the dress as a center front opening, and thus was born the Vogue duster, which I show you how to do right here in a full sew-along. Another example, this Berta style sundress. I want to say, let me check my notes here. Berta style 07 2015 number 110. This very romantic midi dress has a zipper in the side and an attached skirt. Now, when I made this dress, I looked at that center front opening on the bodice and I thought, boy, that shirt is pretty. That would be nice if it went all the way down the front of the dress. So I extended that center front opening down into the midriff portion and then attached a half circle skirt, one of my favorite, or probably, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I'm gonna throw down and I'm gonna say the half circle skirt is my favorite of all the circle skirts. In this dress, I just turned the skirt around, okay? I did the math for a half circle skirt, and instead of that seam being at the back of the skirt and throwing a zipper in, I turned it around so the seam was at the front of the skirt and met right up with the center front seam of my bodice. And that way I could carry the buttons all the way down and just swan about and just feel very elegant and dramatic. Again, drama, everybody. Drama is the word of the day. My last tip for the moment for you to change up your patterns is go through your pattern library and just sort of see what might go together. Little peanut butter and jelly. Little, you got your chocolate and my peanut butter. You got your peanut butter and my chocolate. I'm actually not that big of a fan of peanut butter. I'm not sure why I'm going so into peanut butter references. I love marrying patterns together that don't seem like they should go together. This first example is Simplicity 0320 and Simplicity 1802. This was my birthday pizza dress because we were going out to pizza for my birthday when I made this dress. I just married the two together. Here we've got Simplicity 2180 for the bodice and Simplicity 1099 for the skirt. Again, marrying the two together. Let's do a little 180 so you can see the back of that. Isn't she cute? She's so cute, I love her. I don't fit her at the moment, but I do love her. This last example comes from my women, my people at By Hand London. This is the Elisa Lex dress, okay? I wanna show you how this started out. This started out as a dress, and instead of doing the skirt portion as drafted, I did what I've recommended to you earlier in this video. I added a full circle skirt. So I went off pattern there, just added a different kind of skirt. Then, you know, time went on and I decided I feel a little too cutesy in this. This just doesn't feel like the me that I am today. So I changed it again. I cut the half circle skirt off with a bit of a high-low to make it into a top. Oh, but wait, there's still flowers underneath. Yeah, that's because I had more fabric. I paired the Elisa Lex dress with the By Hand London Charlotte skirt. So I had a whole look going on. But then, you know, yeah, I went off-piste again. Off-piste, that's a thing, isn't it? And I took the ruffle off the top. She a little crop top now. And I took that ruffle that was on the top and added it to the bottom of the skirt because nothing in my closet is safe. So those are a few simple examples of how you can marry patterns together that you think maybe shouldn't work. Speaking of marriage, hi Rob.
Hi.
Hi, come on in.
How you
doing?
Where
you been?
I've been downstairs, out and about.
I want a more exciting answer than that.
I've been in California. I've been in the air over the Rockies. I've been over the Grand Canyon, no less.
Like a song. You've been to West Virginia, Washington,
Whoa.
Santa Monica. Well, we're here now. Come closer to me. Come see the people.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. How's everyone? They can't answer, can they?
Answer in the comments.
Yes.
Let us know how you are. Rob really wants to know he's missed you all.
I've missed you very much.
Yes,
I've just been very busy, and I can't keep up with this one.
I'm a lot to keep up with. I'm a little extra sometimes. Well, everybody, I just wanted Rob to say hi to you at the end of this video because it's been a minute.
Yeah, a little minute.
And we're going to head into our own weekend now.
An actual weekend.
And make a puzzle, maybe.
Go hiking, perhaps.
Go hiking, maybe.
Some things.
Do some sewing, probably. Peace out, everybody.
Emphasis on peace.
Okay, that's it. That's the end.
Is that all you need?
Yeah, but I thought you were actually going to do something.
No, I have an itch in my nose. I was trying not to itch to keep it going.
That's what he does for y'all. That's what he does for y'all.
That's a pro right there.
That's a pro. Come on, pro. You deserve some sort of a treat. Let's go get a treat.
Okay.